This is the heart of the Navajo land. To travel the Navajo Scenic Road is to enter the land that is Navajo among the people. East of the Grand Canyon, west of Shiprock, north of the Painted Desert, and south of Monument Valley. The Navajo Scenic Road passes through the crossroads of Navajo history. In these places, we trace our Diné history back to the ancient peoples who lived in these areas thousands of years ago. It was along this route that three of the Navajo's most noted leaders lived, hunted, fought, and died during the 1800s. The Navajo chiefs, Narbona, Manuelito, Barboncito. Many Navajo people living in these areas today can still trace their roots back to these men. You'll meet a few of these descendants in this presentation. The Navajo Nation is a nation within the United States, with its own government and services. As the largest Native American reservation within the U.S., it encompasses a land area the size of West Virginia. Within this area is the Navajo Scenic Road, which threads its way through over 100 miles of Navajo land, people, culture, and history. Window Rock is the capital of the Navajo Nation, and Canyon de Chelly is one of the Navajo's most sacred natural spots. Whether you begin your route from the north at Canyon de Chelly or from the south at Interstate 40 in Lupton, you will discover a land rich in archaeology, history, culture, and natural beauty. It is a land of wonder and mystery, where the spirits of the ancient ones can be sensed in the rocks. Our Kenya, Navajo land, is also rich in tradition. Many Navajo families raise livestock and maintain farms in the same way their families have for centuries. Many children learn to ride and manage animals at very young ages on Navajo land. Tourists can see tiny cowboys and cowgirls ride sheep at the Woolly Riders competition at the Navajo Nation Fair. The drive between Lupton and St. Michael's along Route 12 takes you through forests of ponderosa pine and dramatic geological strata of rock. Don't miss the teapot between Lupton and Oak Springs. It was along this stretch that historic trails crisscrossed carrying Spanish explorers, Navajos, Hopis, Apaches, traders, missionaries, and settlers. The mountains and forests here are rich in the flowers, trees, and minerals used in the creation of natural dyes, often used by Navajo weavers. The Navajo are renowned worldwide for their weavings and rites. Marcus Jr. descends from a long line of Navajo weavers and dye makers. His grandmother, Mabel Burnside Myers, invented the original concept of the dye charts people can buy at trading posts and museums. Many plants used to make dyes can be found along the roadside. The Navajos introduced themselves by their claims.
Dati, Chelly, Mark, aking Chelly, Chip, aking Schmidt, she Hushkan, My name is Mark Chippy. I'm originally from Oak Springs, Arizona, and I'm right now in my backyard. But I'm here to talk to you about the different plants and minerals that now are used colors for weavings, or for their moccasins, or for the baskets, or for the pottery. What we have here, we have the blue lupin, or the chitan, which is the, as I tell them, it's the horse's feet. used. And he sees the upper portions of it, and that's really about it. Some people, they would probably mistake this with another plant called purple larkspur, or as now known as fish, but this is a different one. We have the Navajo tea here, and this is a very common plant that you can find all over the reservation, and it's used a lot in ceremonies, medicinally, or just even for just regular home consumption. You can make tea, add honey, sugar to it. You can use it for dyes. You can get up to 6 different colors with it. It's very common. You can find it like almost everywhere across the whole reservation, or throughout the Southwest, I should say. But this is the Navajo tea.
St. Michael's Museum, just west of Window Rock, is an excellent example of a one-room schoolhouse. Though the school dates to the late 1890s, the Franciscans came to this area as early as the mid-1600s.
Yate. I'm Father Ron Walters. I'm Superior here at St. Michael's Mission. I'd like to welcome you to St. Michael's Historical Museum. This building houses presently the Museum of the Franciscans here at the Navajo Nation. We have a period room which reflects the typical bedroom of the Franciscans here at that time. We also have a period room of the first church here at St. Michael's Mission. Among the first Franciscans here was Father Gerard Hiley. He and Anselm Weber together helped develop a written language for the Navajo people. Before that, the spoken language. The Franciscans and the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament have been here and formed a kind of cooperative in working with the Navajo people. The Sisters recently celebrated 100 years as educators here in the Southwest. St. Michael's Indian School has been in continuous operation since then. It is the oldest school on the Navajo Reservation and the oldest Catholic school here in this area.
In Window Rock, you'll find, among other things, the Navajo Nation Museum, the zoo and botanical park, the council chambers, Window Rock Monument, and the Code Talkers Monument. If you haven't heard about the Navajo Code Talkers, you're missing a fascinating portion of World War II and Navajo history. The Navajo Code Talker veterans are local as well as national heroes. Keith Little is one of the Navajo Code Talkers who fought on numerous islands, including Iwo Jima.
I went to listen to Marine Corps in just about a day after my 17th birthday. A recruiting sergeant that was in charge of the station asked me, are you in school? He said, yes, I'm in school. Why don't you go home and finish out your year and then come back when the school is up? So he gives me a piece of paper and told me to get my guardian to sign it. Me and a friend of mine got a man that was herding sheep with thumbprint or papers, and then put the guardian's name on there and turn it in that way when we reported back together. That's how we got into the Marine Corps. We were pretty close to getting done.
Based upon our Navajo language, the Navajo. It was the only code that the Japanese never broke during the war in the Pacific.
Being a code talker was something that I never imagined. I'm glad we done something in a way that was different or unique. A contribution that the Navajo people made, but they're code talkers. They're the ones that come up with this deviously intelligent or craftily devised code that they use themselves.
The 200-foot-tall Window Rock towers over the tribal park, the Code Talkers Monument, and the World War II Memorial. This red stone window lock, for which the town was named, literally has a window in it, a neatly shaped circular cutout. Just across the way is the Navajo Council Chambers. The mural inside the main council room is a beautiful depiction of Navajo history and culture. This building is designated as a National Historic Landmark. Throughout the Navajo Nation, you'll see hogans, which are traditional ceremonial structures. These 8-sided structures dot the landscape. Many Navajos actually build their house in the shape of a hogan, but most people who have a hogan reserve it for ceremonial use. If you want to see inside a typical hogan, stop by the Navajo Nation Museum in Window Rock. Virgil Nez assisted in the construction of this museum hogan.
My name is Virgil Inez. My clan is Maideshkizhny, and it always faces east in our tradition. The reason for that is, as a Navajo, as a Gwinnett people, we're blessed by the sun every morning.
The design, concepts, and ceremonies related to hogans are extensive. For example, after a hogan is constructed, there are ceremonial blessings that Navajo medicine men perform.
The door on the south side is usually blessed up with a corn pot. And then to the south here, you have the logs here, all going clockwise at the bottom ones. And then the next one above is facing clockwise here. So that's the one that would be blessed to the south. And then you would come over to the west side, and the same thing. The second log is facing clockwise. I'm not sure. How long did you Yeah. And then on the north side again, you have the same thing. You have the second pole, which is clockwise again. And then you go all the way back to the door to the north side, which would be facing down. All of them would be blessed up. Corn cob up. The reason it's like this, it represents a basket that's face down, and we have our chimney right in the middle here. It's where like in the traditional basket, we have what we call in our traditions hajime, our emergence, and that's what this house represents. It's a basket that's facing down. So this is our hajime right here. So
There are two basic types of hogan designs, a female and male hogan. An example of the male hogan can be viewed at the Navajo Nation Zoo across from the museum. The Navajo Nation Museum is a modern building with a unique architectural design based upon the hogan, which explains why the museum does not face the road, but opens to the sun in the east as a traditional hogan would. The exhibits here, which are updated often, depict Navajo history, culture, and art.
This here is the Navajo die chart. It was made by the late Myers. This artwork has been going since 1950s. My mother, at the time, she was just a little girl, and she helped out my mother create these die charts.
막 차도로 건너갑니다. 두 마리는 벌써 건너가고 또 건너가려고 그래요. 강아지들까지 다. 우리는 지금 테넌트